Okay, sorry, you were on. You streamed at me.
Oh, what?
You streamed at me. As in your stream came on.
Oh.
You can't laugh because it's laughter coming from nowhere. It's very funny. I don't have any video or anything. It's difficult.
Oh, hang on. Let me shut down. I'll call you back in a second. If I shut down Skype, my video will come back on.
Okay.
So hi guys, if you hadn't worked this out already, every time I'm flashing off air and pulsating, I'm going to speak to the company this week and try and sort it out. Every time that happens, just refresh your page because it will just keep showing you a blank screen. So just refresh it a couple of times and then it will, when I say refresh, you go up to the little circle thing in your browser and you just click refresh. Hey Tom. Oh, hey Tom.
Hiya.
Hang on. Should work now. Yeah. But you now might get the the posing,
the freaky robot face.
Yeah.
You have 2 glasses of water.
I got a ginger juice and a lemon juice and a coffee, but the coffee's a bit cold now.
Let me move this. So, there's no local experience?
No. But there needs to be the functioning of self-awareness and there needs to be the functioning of the feeling like there's an edge. But no, there is no local experience. Whose would it be? It's never been there. Somebody's never been there. It's so cool. That means that nothing dies because it's only you in time that dies.
So when we were born, there wasn't a person that was born?
No. But the beingness then looked through the body, so there was just pure beingness. And even before that, that beingness was looking through a different body or in a different experience. There's this pure beingness. The baby, when it's born, it doesn't even know inside, outside world. There's just pure beingness everywhere. And then the baby learns this over time. And then it learns more and more. I am Tom. I am good. I am English. And it gets more and more like a sense like there's somebody actually having an experience, but there's never been something having an experience. There's been beingness, which is everything, and no thing. And now life is doing this thing where it's waking up to itself again, where it's realizing this through the humans. So it separates and then it realizes this again. So it separates and believes that it was that person, and then there can be this complicated functioning, there can be this intellectual functioning, there can be a perception of time, but it's not somebody's experience anymore.
So the person's born, they learn things.
Yeah. So they're, first of all, before that though, they're born, and before they learn things, they have no sense. There's no sense of inside and outside. Don't you remember being a kid that there was so much more freedom?
I don't remember being a kid.
You don't remember? Do you remember, like, even when you were like 5 or 6, just there was so much joy of just playing, just doing things. You don't remember that?
I think I kind of blew my memory somehow at some point, because I can't remember, like, people have to tell me a specific memory for me to remember it. I can't just
Remember it?
bring it up.
Yeah. Well, that destroys that conversation then.
Well, so the person learns how they touch things, and they learn there's an inside and outside.
Yeah, it's kind of genetical, and it comes with the increase. This thing happens with the outside world telling it, you are John, you are John, and it also comes from a genetic thing that kicks in of the brain growing, and the brain placing together my hand world. So it's two things that happen. The genetic kicks in because we've got genetically inside of us this separation, and then we have society saying, yes, you are Tom. Who you are is Tom. And it's so crazy. Isn't that a crazy thought that you're Tom and that I'm Lisa? It's all empty. It's just computer, foot. And then when someone tells you you're Lisa, you're like, oh, yes, yeah. I'm Lisa. It's so, and the characters change all the time. This is like an indication that it's not a reality. They're always changing, contradicting themselves, growing. If they were born in a different society with different culture, different language, they'd be completely different people.
So once the person's learned all these things, they're able to operate in the world quite well.
Yeah.
Reasonably well.
Yeah.
But you're saying that there's none of that. There's none of that person there to learn it.
No, but it seems that way, as if somebody is learning it. It's like a program putting a computer. It's not and we put in the computer the program of self-awareness, but there's not actually somebody there having an experience. Have you seen the film? It's a good film. It's called well, the name escapes me, but basically they put in a sense of self into a robot, and the way they put in the sense of self is by memory. So they make her feel like she's been alive for 20 years and she's had all these experiences, and then they give her the appearance of choice, but the way they've manipulated the memory is they always know what she'll choose by the memories that they've put in her. So this is the way it's happening. We've got this program in us with an appearance of a separate person that's had an experience and that chooses. But it's just like a program slipped into the brain, except it's an organic program that's happened by the whole of life.
So say someone was enlightened at 10 years old in the middle of their learning process.
Yeah.
Would they stop being able to learn?
I do have a theory that sometimes it does happen at a young age, and we label them as learning difficulties or special. They could be highly intelligent, but there's going to be differences. They're not going to understand. They're not going to be able to perceive the problems that, we're always convincing a child, if you don't do this, then you're going to be punished. If you don't behave like this, then you're going to be punished. But they're not going to be able to perceive the world like that. They're going to all be seeing it as perfect, and they're not going to have such a strong desire to learn in order to better themselves, but they will have this creativity, which means when they're interested and enjoy a subject, they'll want to learn it. But they won't be bound in this world of fear. So they're going to be different. And often what happens is that ones that have had this since kids, and this isn't talking about older people, but often the ones that have this since kids, they often have a harder time with language, like learning language, but not with the adults. When people have waking, they've already learnt it, but as kids they have a harder time associating meaning to language and being able to understand language. They think a lot more in images and in feelings. But this is from kids, and this is a very, very small part of kids that won't, very small percentage that won't identify. 99.99999% do identify. And I do think it has made us very successful because it's made us work so freaking hard. So I do think it has made us successful at hunting, at producing, at creating, because it's made it so important because we felt we were alive.
So you often say that people just seek pleasure, bodies just seek pleasure, but surely part of, I don't say being pleasured, part of getting pleasure is fitting in with other people.
Yeah.
So you can see the self as a result of that pleasure-seeking process.
Yeah, definitely. To fit in with other people and to be loved. And when the separation happens is secretly it always feels like it lost something. It doesn't know what it lost, but it always has this little sense that there's something not quite right. So then when the teachers say it's because you've got to work hard, they're like, oh yes, that's what it is. Like it fulfills that little nagging sense that there's something wrong with them. They always have a tiny sense there's something wrong. Whereas a child that didn't identify, you wouldn't be able to barter with them because they wouldn't feel like there was something wrong with them. So they wouldn't be able to barter in the same way. You wouldn't be able to convince them that they're wrong so easily. They wouldn't think they were right, they just wouldn't have that sense that there's a lack. And even now, like pleasure's nice, I like pleasure, I like having nice food, tea, cup of tea, I like having a cup of tea. So pleasure is a nice thing, but it's not in any way completion. Pleasure comes and goes. You finish the tea, you get the tea, someone makes you a terrible tea. It's something that's always moving, and it's in no way reflecting completion. Completion is a whole different thing from that. But we always imagine our freedom or our completion in pleasure. So in getting enlightened, in having the perfect lover, in the feeling of bliss, in things. But in things it changes, always. Everything that comes goes. So there can never be completion found in pleasure. But I'm not against it. Like the way these bodies operate is pleasure is a good thing. Like eating tar is not a good thing, and that's why it's painful.
So when I see you, so when you see me, do you still see me, or do you see like blank?
I don't see, there is appearances, but they're empty. So I don't see a you as such.
But you see me, but the appearance is empty.
Everything's empty, yeah. So there's everything, but it's all empty. So there's not something inside that body. There's just all these colours and sounds and then the response of Lisa happening. But then in time, so with the functioning brain, the brain can say Tom is speaking, Lisa is speaking. So it can still carry on functioning normally. And it can still see, or it could report Tom is angry with Lisa, but it's not a you and a me, or Tom is delighted with Lisa. It can report these things in a very normal way, so there can be the self-awareness and the awareness of the other. But that sense of aliveness, that beingness that's always there, no longer belongs to someone. It belongs to nothing, so it's happening and not. It's still and moving.
So you're saying that the actually I totally forgot what I was going to say. Let me see if I can think of that. So when you're saying empty, you mean empty of? Do you mean empty of time?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see things as in time?
No. So they're
Ever.
happening and not. The brain does. The brain has to report back that Tom, or the brain reports back time. But no.
But you don't see things in time?
No. It's always timelessness. I used to see myself and the world as moving in time. But then this energy moved, and then there is stillness as movement, and then time comes and goes as a functioning.
So there seems to be a distinction in being time and using time. That's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a practicality. We have humans, but time didn't exist before we started speaking. What was time before we named it?
So time doesn't exist when I sleep, as a practical example.
Yeah. But sleep doesn't exist when you sleep either.
Ah!
There is no sleep. There is only ever awakeness. You can't have non-existence, it doesn't exist. Have you ever experienced non-existence?
One time I saw everything as empty.
But I mean, in deep sleep, there's a falling asleep and then there's awakeness again. There can be dreams, so that's something happening again. But we don't experience it at all. There's no experience of it. It doesn't exist.
So you're saying the way you're functioning right now is like you're asleep all the time?
Asleep and awake.
Awake in what way?
Like it's happening and not happening.
So it's at the same time?
Yeah.
So it's like you're in a dream?
Yes, but not me in a dream. But yeah, this is ethereal, it's empty.
So you're in a constant dream?
Well, I mean, this is a very funny way of saying, because normally I say the illusion of self is a dream, so... But yeah, I mean, this is made of nothing.
Ah!
This is made of nothing.
Well,
it's all illusion. It's all illusion. Everything is illusion. There's the illusion of self, and then this whole world is illusion. It's created in the brain, and well, not in the brain, but it's created as if it appears as a reality, but it's not at all. It's just that the feelings give the feeling, oh, this is hard, this is the wall, this is gravity, but none of that's real.
So there are the six senses, right?
Yeah.
There's thinking, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So you're saying that those senses operate without time, always?
Well, it depends on how we label time. So in the appearances happening, and appearance, the way that appearance is happening is cause and effect, and one thing to another to another. Time is something that we've made up as humans. But they also, it's never actually anything other than this instant. This instant is all there ever is. And we have images of past and future which give the appearance that a world is happening. It gives the appearance that something's happening, but it's not a reality. We're not actually moving through a world. We're not actually moving through time. Time is always appearing here.
So things happen, but they happen without anything backing it up.
Yes, they have no backup. Because where is the past? Where is it? Has it ever not been this instant? Forms change, yes, they seem to change, giving the appearance that something's happening. But has anything ever actually happened? It seems to, but has it? Have we ever had the past? Have we ever had the future? They've been mental images, always.
So by happened you mean leaving some kind of mark?
Yeah. Can you ever grasp the last moment? Ever?
Or the current moment?
Yeah. Because the current moment, as soon as you perceive it, it's past. It's like a dream, all of this. It's totally empty.
It's like a dream, all of this, and everyone's asleep.
And yeah.
The metaphor's falling apart. Abandoned metaphor. Uh, so nothing makes the appearances happen.
Mm-hmm. Or, because nothing and everything are the same thing, you could say everything can makes the appearances happen. You could say either one. They're the same thing. If God is in everything, if that nothing is in everything, then it's the same thing.
What do you mean by it could be nothing or everything as a word? Because those seem like very different things to me.
What is everything?
Everything is what's appearing.
What is that made of?
Itself.
Which is?
A thing.
A what?
A thing.
And what makes up the thing?
There's a loop now. Itself.
What if we went into a thing? If we looked at in a microscope at a thing, what would we find? Where would we find this thing?
But It would still be there though. It would just be really small. It'd be part of it, right? You just see part of it.
If you kept going in and in and in,
then you see part of everything.
If you kept going in and unpacking it and unpacking it, unpacking it, what would you finally come to?
He's saying you would come to anything, and that's why everything is nothing.
Actually, science is always changing, but what they say in science is that when you get to the smallest particle level ever, when they look inside, there's nothing there. There's nothing measurable in this world there. Now, that might be that our measuring tools are wrong, but I think it begins to reflect back what the Buddha said thousands of years ago. Everything is inherently empty and made of that emptiness. And everything is made, even the Buddhist, he didn't call it atoms, but he would say energy. And this energy is moving and not moving simultaneously. And it's all building blocks. This energy is built on each other, giving the appearance of things, giving the appearance that something's happening. Because the energy always moves, so the things are always changing form. But actually, in reality, nothing's happening. And this is the actual experience. The experience in this instant is everything and nothing. It's happening and it's not. It's still and it's moving.
So movement, in my perspective, is the cause and effect, chain of causation. I move my hands.
Yeah.
It goes from there to there.
Yeah.
You move your hand. It goes from there to there.
Yeah.
And you're saying stillness is there in all of that movement?
Yes, has to be.
Why does it have to be?
Would you be able to see the movement without stillness?
So you're saying there's comparative stillness in all the movement?
Mm-hmm. I'm not quite sure what the word comparative means in that.
Comparative, you compare the stillness to the movement, thus you're able to see the movement and the stillness, because they're distinct.
You can't quite see the stillness, but it is. It can be known. You can't quite see it because it's not an object.
But it's there in all objects.
Yes.
But it's not there.
Not in one place, no. It's everywhere.
And everything is just that still substance.
Yeah. And that still substance is all movement. Still
substance 5 times. Sorry, I forgot you said I was too busy making a joke. That's the substance is always there.
I don't have no idea what I said.
No.
Go on.
So if that still substance is always there, we need to change still substance to something else. If that stillness is always there, then okay, so why can't I know right now that still substance is always there?
Because you are a movement. You're not the experiencer. You can't know anything. But it is. I'm just getting my drink out of the fridge. I want more, even though I've got 3. Oh, I think Paul drank it all.
Do I shake like your dog shakes? I seem like a weird question to everyone else.
Yeah, because at points, yeah. She every time something happens that's not normal, she does some form of shake, whether it be a stretch, like a. But she hasn't got such a movable face. She yawns a lot.
I've noticed that I had a dog for a while, and whenever she didn't understand something, she cocked her head like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I do that. I think I picked it up from my dog.
Yeah.
So when I don't understand something, I imitate my dog in the same way. So sometimes, I'm not sure if this is relatable or not, sometimes it feels like when I swallow, like something is being repressed back into my heart rather than being let outwards. And it's like I'm sort of falling backwards from my, forward progression into spirituality. I wonder if you could speak about that at all.
Sorry? When what?
What if you could speak about that at all? If you have any ideas about it. Or if you just haven't experienced, that's fine. I can just say, okay, whatever. It's just me.
Well, you have to wait because it just comes.
Yeah.
So the way that I think it works, that this area I don't really talk about that much, and anything in thoughts and what we think we know always changes, and so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But I think what happens is, have you ever heard of the chakras?
I've seen a Google image of it, that's all.
Yeah. I think that what the teachers originally meant by the chakras is this is where the sense of self feels like it is.
Right.
So you always feel like you're in one of these positions, whether you're in your head, behind your eyes, in your throat, in your heart, in your stomach, or in your groin. And they go with certain emotions. So when you're feeling attracted, you suddenly feel like there's a lot of you in your hips or something, or in your groin. And when you're feeling very emotional, it can be in your stomach. And when you're feeling lots of love, you feel like you're there, your sense of self is there. And I think that we have these weird energetic experiences because there's been so much of a focus of an energy there. It's kind of given us this energetic sensation in the body. So there's so much of a focus in these areas. So we get these weird energetic experiences that happen.
So you're saying the self just attaches to that most prominent energy?
Yeah, wherever it's experiencing, it just kind of feels like that's where you are. And then, because there's this fake thing happening that you are there, it puts so much pressure in those areas. And so often you have meditations or massages on those areas, or you do breathings or something, and it clears those areas a bit, and it feels like a relief. I don't really have any answers to it or anything, but when I look at those pictures of the chakras, I always think that's a very accurate description of where the solid person, feels like it is. Most of the time people describe themselves inside behind the eyes, but you'll notice that it happens in the throat as well, and in the chest area, and then some people the groin and the stomach. The women tend to have it in the stomach area, and then all the different feelings that they label in the chakras. You tend to feel like that when you're in those different places. So I think they're quite accurate in that sense. But then trying to release yourself from those places won't quite work because you don't actually exist in there. It's just a force that you keep getting told that you're there, you're there, you're there. And so when you're angry, you often feel like the energy feels like it wants to come from here. Or when you're sad. But I don't know much about it, the chakras.
So you're saying you're not those energies, the idea of a self is a separate energy?
The illusion of self, I think, attaches to those areas, making it feel like there is somebody in there having an experience. So it attaches to these different areas, or it claims it, if you like. This is who I am. So when you're angry with someone, you feel like you're really inside there. And you'll notice that it moves depending on your feeling or your emotion as to where you feel like you are. But you won't even be conscious of it. It's all happening without any conscious of it. Consciousness.
So the self happens without consciousness of the self.
These movements happen without consciousness of them. But you know what I mean when I say when you feel sad or when you feel angry, there's like this energy moving there, or when you feel love, you feel like you're there, but you're not very conscious of it because you think you are somebody moving through time. You think you're somebody that loves. But the energy feels like there's something solid there having an experience.
So, quick Zen anecdote. The Zen master Bankai, he was deadly sick and he'd spent his entire life trying to be enlightened. And he thought, oh, I wish, if only I could get enlightened here on my deathbed. My life would have been worth it. He drew himself to that sickness meditating. And he said that he felt a big lump go up his throat. And when he spat it out, a big ball of phlegm landed on the wall. And at that moment, he was enlightened.
It's kind of what happened here as well. It was, but not with the phlegm. Mine's a lot prettier story.
I was really surprised and interested until you said that with the phlegm.
But what happened here was that I was looking at something and I thought, did I tell you this already? Most probably. I tell it to so many people.
Carry on.
I thought that I was looking at something and I thought it was really beautiful, and I was so stunned by its beauty, and I was like, how had I not noticed it was beautiful? And then I began to look at everything and I began to realize that the whole room was really beautiful, and I was surprised I'd been in there for an hour or so that I hadn't realized. And then the more and more beauty I saw, it felt like this energy began to go out of my eyes. It was like the looking stopped being inside the head, or I stopped looking from inside the head, and it began to go further and further out inside the world. And the more and more it went into the world, the looking, and then there was this the I disappeared, so I stopped existing, and it just went further and further into the world, and then the world was still and moving simultaneously, but nothing experienced it. It just went. So it's like when you say that he spat it out, it like came out. Mine just came from here. I felt like I was here, and at that moment in time, I felt like I was here, and then it just went further and further out until it disappeared. And when I say me, I mean that sense of aliveness that you're looking from inside here, that you're having an experience. There's nothing having an experience. There is simply the world, which is moving and still. It was shocking because at first I couldn't think at all. Actually, the brain was so blown up. But after a while, thinking happened. But it's shocking because I always thought, even up to the end, even after many awakenings, I thought aliveness was mine. Like the aliveness belonged to this body. But this body, it was the opposite way around. This body was appearing in aliveness. It was totally opposite to what I thought. So when you said that image of phlegm, I can understand how it could just be with spit. Why not? It could be like, or you throw yourself up. Because it does all belong. It is all it. I have my watch on upside down. But we shall stop soon because I normally stop about 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay.
But it was really, really lovely talking with you, Tom. Really lovely. It's so energetical when I'm speaking with you.
I'm still being energetical.
What you might find is the brain goes a bit benny, or some energies around that happen, but it will all work its way out. Normally when something's changing, the prior to it, I don't know why this is, but the mind gets really active. It goes really, really active, and then change happens. It's weird. I don't know why, but it's often the way.
I think it's like trying to escape death. Same
Yeah,
way your life flashes before your eyes.
yeah. And it's trying to like realign itself or something, and trying to retain a belief or something. So it's like, and then it just can't hold on to it. So it just goes.
That's good. So Yuji Krishnamurti said it was retaining his continuity, so trying to find the way to stay continuous.
Yeah. And it kind of goes Benny doing it. So sometimes before change happen, it really feels like you're going insane.
Well, plenty of that. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thanks, Tom.
Sorry I took up everyone else's
Oh
questions.
no, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was lovely.
Okay, hope to speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
I just read out the comments before I go. So Annette Joy says, wow, Dolly Parton, Google goggles is so helpful analogy. I wanted to be Dolly Parton. I want to be Dolly. Yep, that's what Nick says. Then I have the big boobies, yes. Loot, hey Loot. Hi Jason. Hi Lisa, can I call after previous caller? I think I'm going to go to bed now. I think I should be doing the stream on Sunday. I have a talk in the morning, but I should be back to do the stream. So you can call on Sunday. Hi, Kevin. I always go to call you Michael. I think I'm going to go to bed now, Kevin. So on Sunday. Her. No, it wasn't her, Isabel. It was called, it was with like someone like Harrison Ford. Oh, this is heaven. I have to show you this. This is really, oh, a lovely smell. I don't know if you can get it outside of Holland. It's really nice. I think it's French. It's all in French, so I wouldn't know. Okay. Hi, Maria. Just bunnies everywhere, Maria. Let's have a look. They're so cute. I would like a little chicken as well. Yeah, my rabbits don't jump like that. I think it's because they got floppy ears. The ears just flop too much to jump like that. Petter, Blade Runner. Yes, that's the film, Blade Runner. Yeah, that is the film. Thank you, Petter. I made you watch it one time, didn't I? At Stan's house. I think it was there. Hi, Cedric. Oh, long time no see. Hi, Cedric. Okay, guys. So I will be doing a talk this Sunday, but if you are in the Amsterdam area, you can come and see me. Be in the centre of Amsterdam. I forget the name where, but you can find it on my website. Okay, bye, guys.